So I'm thinking about just like, hi guys, Hocker here. I just thought I'd make a quick gear video for the people that are asking. Shotgun Sentry right here, so let me go through it for you. I'll go through the talents, the perks, everything to do with the gun, why I run such low toughness, why my skill power is so high compared to my toughness, and my firearms, and I think that should be it. So I'll run 2 final measure. Obviously 2 final measure has to be done because of the sticky bomb players. I'm running health on kill on the vest. It's quite useful actually in PvP. Because if you get the beat down, it gives you a little bit of health, combined with health on kill on the gloves as well, I think. No, I don't, not on these gloves. But I have health on kill sometimes on the gloves as well, which also helps. Just because medkits now have been changed. So, yeah. The backpack, the Sentry backpack, skill power, you have to have skill power on a backpack. You have to. I mean, the other option is crit damage, but I think skill power is just far more beneficial compared to the crit damage. 7,000 skill power is just ridiculous amount. You can't get that anywhere else. I think it's like maybe 4 mods would get you that, I think, just off the top of my head. Yeah, 4 mods would get you about the same skill power, so really skill power is the most important thing on the backpack. My gloves, again, final measure, 240s. I've got some 268s, but they haven't rolled shotgun damage, so I'm kind of going, depends how I'm playing, but I like the shotgun damage with the crit chance, crit damage, first aid, self-heal. First aid, self-heal, not really that important with my toughness because my skill power is relatively high anyway, but if not first aid, self-heal, I'd take pulse critical hit damage. Seems as though I run a pulse. And then my holster could be better, but it's still pretty good holster. We have armor with pulse critical hit damage, which is the 2 best attributes I think to get on a holster is armor and pulse critical hit damage. If not pulse critical hit damage, I'd probably take first aid ally heal. Just to, if I'm working in a team, I'd probably take that, but this is also really good. The rolls are quite low actually, considering what you could get on a 268. The rolls are quite low, so I'm still on the lookout for a better holster. But that one right there is the best one I've got at the moment. Knee pads, pretty much really good knee pads here. 728 firearms, 21% crit hit damage, shock resistance, which again I don't know how well shock resistance works, but I think shock resistance and bleed resistance combined are both really good to have on the minor attributes. Increased kill XP, obviously I don't need that, but yeah, I'd take probably burn resistance in the middle if I had the choice, and then pulse duration. They've changed the knee pads now, so you cannot get pulse critical hit damage on the knee pads like you can on the 240s, so the best you can get is pulse duration now on the skill attribute, or first aid ally heal I think is the other one. My mask, again, really high stamina roll. Skill power as well is quite nice on there. I haven't rolled this mask yet, so I've just kept it as is at the moment. Just waiting to see if I get any other pieces that I might need to change so that I can adapt this mask. So I might get a really good backpack that has stamina roll, and I need to change the firearms, and so I can change the mask if need be. If there's 2 things that need to be changed, just for example. So I've just kept this as it is. Don't really care about the pulse critical hit chance on the skill attribute. I'd rather just keep the skill power and the stamina as they are. And that's it. That's my gear right there. Moving on to the guns. I run a shotgun as my primary. The DMG is 118k base. I'm not sure how that runs if it's a high or a low base damage, but it has responsive, unforgiving, and competent. I rolled responsive. It came with something else. It came with unforgiving and competent. So I rolled responsive on the gun. So it's pretty much all damage, base damage increase right here. So skill base, and then closer than 10 meters. And then if they shoot me as well, they're giving me more damage as well. So I don't really rely on crit chance or crit damage or headshots. I just go for pure damage. Obviously headshot. If I was to change anything, I'd change competent for brutal. If anything, but other than that, I think this is a really good shotgun for PvP and for PvE as well. Secondary is a sniper rifle that I use. Has a really high headshot, the highest headshot damage you can get on a 204. Quite a nice base damage as well, with deadly, vicious, and skilled. This gun's super good for PvE. Because you got the crits with the crit chance, and then obviously you're getting your security back now within 1.3. Security is a big thing now in 1.3 because you're having to, those AI, they hit really hard in DZ5 and 6 and in the underground on heroic as well, so it's quite useful. G36C that I have just spare, I have Deadly and Unforgiving with a decently high damage roll, I think it is. But I wouldn't, if I was to change one, I'd probably change Unforgiving for maybe Brutal. Or I'd change Deadly for Brutal. I think Brutal on an assault rifle is really really important. The headshot multiplier on an assault rifle is just insane. So I think Brutal is really needed on an assault rifle, in all honesty. And then my sub that I have MP7 229. Again, I think this is quite a low DMG roll. I think I'm not sure. I'm not too sure. Again, I'm not up to date with the 229 DMG rolls, but it has Brutal, Unforgiving, and Deadly. I'm quite a fan of Unforgiving, in all honesty, considering how much people lose health at the moment, and with my toughness being quite low, that Unforgiving is really useful. But yeah, Brutal, Unforgiving, Deadly on there. Right, so I'll go through my pistol if you want to see my pistol. It's First Wave X45 with the bleed and expert as well. Quite a hot, this pistol is insane. The DMG roll combined with the RPM is just mental. So it's really good. Okay, shall I go through the talents? Yeah, I'll do the talents. I'll do the attachments. The attachments on my shotgun, I run a small red dot scope with 22 headshot, 7% crit. I'm thinking about changing the crit to optimal range, but I just haven't found the right headshot yet. The right scope. Sorry. My grip is stability, hip fire, accuracy. The reason why I have this is because I've noticed with a shotgun, when you have stability, accuracy with your reticle, it goes with accuracy, it goes smaller, so it's harder to hit your shot. So it just makes up for it just compensates for maybe you slightly missing your shot. So I just take off the accuracy and just put hip fire accuracy. I never hip fire the gun. I always just use the quick shot. But yeah, stability, hip fire accuracy right there. And then on the magazine, weapon damage, rate of fire, 100% needed. Some people like to go for weapon damage magazine size, but I think that with one is none activated on here, one is none. I mean, if you're hitting your shots, then weapon damage rate of fire is much more beneficial. On my sniper rifle, I run crit damage, accuracy. Accuracy is needed on a sniper, because I do notice when sniping, sometimes even though your shots are on target, they sometimes do miss if you don't run accuracy. So I run accuracy, crit damage on this one, stability and accuracy on my hand stop, weapon damage and crit chance on my magazine. I don't run extended mag on my magazine. I would prefer the extra crit chance combined with the vicious as well. I mean, the crit chance is pretty important. And then obviously weapon damage is really high as well. And then the scope is just your normal 15 times 22 7.5 crit chance. Could be improved, but I think that's a pretty good one anyway. Okay, my pistol, I run suppressor. It doesn't really matter with the pistol, you don't really do that much damage, but 38% crit damage. And then I run a magazine rate of fire just to make it go insane. Like 800 RPM on this pistol is just, I don't even think you could shoot that quick. I can't shoot that quick anyway. And then on my talents that I run with the gun, I run triage, which is super important. Probably the most important perk for, or talent, probably the most important talent for PvP if you're running a group. If I was running on my own, I'd probably change this to maybe, I don't know what I'd change this to actually. I don't know, I kind of just leave this as it is, even if I'm on my own. And then we've got the critical save, which is use a medkit during a low health to increase damage resistance by 40% for 10 seconds. This one is a must. Like, everybody should have this on, regardless of team or solo. Combat medic, I suppose combat medic is another one, but there was a glitch with the combat medic, whereas if you used the heal, it gave you the 40% heal. So now this really is not that much important if you're running triage. So I think this one right here. And then with a shotgun as well, precision is quite good, because when you don't have your pulse up, like the precision still pulses them and it still gives you that extra bit of damage. So I think this is a really underrated and a really good perk, talent to be using. And then the other one has to be one is none. With only 5 bullets in a shotgun, you have to have one is done right there. And then abilities, I usually run, it depends. It depends on my team, but if I'm running solo, I'll run the Pulse Jammer, so the Scrambler, on my own, combined with the Overdose. Overdose is the most important one, I think, for this build. So Overdose, everybody runs Overdose now, unless you're running Vigorous Chest Piece. But yeah, Pulse Jammer, or maybe Smart. If I'm running a team, I might run the Trapper, depending on what my team's doing, really. But Trapper's really good, Flashbang's really good. Damage Pulse is really good as well. Those are probably the best ones. I never use Shock Turret. I'm so much against Shock Turrets at the moment. They're ridiculous. So I never use the Zapper. I just use Scrambler, Flashbang, and Smart Cover. The Trapper's really good for PvP, and then the Recharger is really good for PvE. The Concealment is also really good if you kind of want to go, if you're kind of that style of play, you could take off the Scrambler and run the Concealment. That would give you the extra damage buff and damage resistance and conceal you from pulses. But I just find that when you're running, if you're running from players manhunt, then you want to run the Scrambler, because they just can't, the damage, they reduce damage on you because they can't pulse you pretty much. Other than that, I think that's pretty much everything that I've got. Yeah, so the reason why I run such low toughness is because I found that against the AI, the AI don't really care how much toughness you have. They still melt you. I mean, obviously, the less toughness you have, the more you will die anyway. But I find that running low toughness with high skill power, so I can give myself that extra heal, is really important. I see a lot of players recently, they've been running like, 450, 500k toughness with like 20, 25k skill power. And you're not going to heal yourself for that much toughness. So you might only heal yourself 3/4, so that 1/4 toughness that you cannot physically heal yourself for unless you run back and forth out of the Overdose, that 1/4 of toughness you can't heal yourself for is lost toughness. So you may as well run less toughness and then push something else. So as you can see with my build, I've got really low electronics, but I have skill power on all my mods, I think, except one. And then skill power on the backpack and on the mask, which gives me 30k. And then I run a lowish toughness, but then my firearms is really high. So I can do real good damage with my shotgun. So I think that's pretty much the optimal build, to run low toughness, high firearms, and high skill power. High toughness, you're compensating maybe firearms, so it's going to be harder to kill people. So that's why I run low toughness, because it's easier to kill people. Although I do get shot, like my health is always lower, like when I'm getting hit, obviously. But combined with Unforgiving, I think it's pretty much optimal right there. But yeah, that's all I do. Make sure you check out my Twitch. I have lots of friendly people in my Twitch stream all the time, so make sure you come and view that. This build was primarily just for people because they asked what my build is, so I've made this YouTube video for that. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, because I need those subscribers. Let's go, boys, subscribers. Make sure you hit the follow as well, and come say hi on my Twitch stream. Thank you very much. Peace.